What's up, guys and gals? So today I'm reviewing a couple of bros. We got no. All right, so here we are with another. I guess what do you want to call it? A podcast. Yeah. You know, one of our talks, our discussions. But look, we got a new bro with us. So we still got the doctor. You guys are getting to know the doctor, Jason Gaspar. And then see. You guys don't see him much, but you hear me mention him a ton of times. The bro, Chris, Rex Flex, 69 in the flesh, finally.
First podcast.
Yeah, we've been trying to do this for a long time, but now this stuff is finally materializing. So today, man, this is the most stuff we've had on this table. I'm going to need a bigger table. So today, we are going over the centuries-old battle, mint and sealed box versus loose collecting. So part of why I really wanted to get Chris in on this one, because he's a master of many things, but one of the things he's really truly a master of is that sealed collecting. Not to say that he's 100% sealed collector. He's got a few things open, but
close.
As much as I know him, he's mostly a sealed collector. I also, now if you guys know me, you know that I wanted to say 100% loose collector, but the truth of the matter is I'm not 100% loose collector. There are very few exceptions, so I'll get into that a little bit, and then...
I'm like 50-50. Sometimes there's certain things I want to open, and most of the time I keep them in the box.
Yeah. Which you recently, which one did you have over the other day? Was it Mikey?
Yeah, Mikey was the one I had the other day.
He was in the box, and now he's boom. He is cracked open. Yeah. So here we go. Any opening thoughts, man? On the matter.
I'm glad to get my notes.
Okay.
It's just I guess the enjoyment. That'd probably be it. How do you enjoy? Like for me, because I've done it both ways, sealed and open. How do you enjoy it if it's in the box? And that's probably something Chris could probably answer because
you
know.
For me, it's like the hunt, especially like if I'm in the store and I actually find something that I've been wanting or looking for a while.
Yeah.
Like just picking up an actual box, that's what I remember more than probably even opening the actual toy. That's like the funnest part of like going to look for stuff, finding it before somebody else.
So because I know you do open some stuff, like probably like 2%. Yeah, it's mostly your office.
All open.
But so as much or as little as you do have open, which when you look at your office, his office, it looks like a toy room. This is his office in a professional setting. I'm not talking about his home office like mine. We're talking at his job, which is even a government job. Yeah. So it is 100% a professional setting, but his office looks like a toy room. It looks like it could be a dude's, at home. Little man cave.
Oh yeah, man, it is my man cave at work.
So,
definitely.
But then you're saying for as little as you have open compared to your entire collection, even though your office is filled with open toys, you still get more enjoyment just hunting and scoring as opposed to actually like having them open and appreciating them open.
It's a little of both because I do enjoy opening stuff, but like. The bad thing is I haven't had time to open stuff in so long. Kind of the hunt kind of took over, because I'll be at work and I'll be like, oh, it's my lunchtime. Let me go to Ross real quick and see if I can find something cool. Right. And half the time I do it, and I'm over there sending you the pictures. Look what I found at Ross.
I was gonna say, so what's funny about that is he'll text me finding so I don't know if I've mentioned this. I probably mentioned it sometimes specifically, like when I show my Ross hauls, like the bro Chris let me know that this was out. But the truth of the matter is a lot of the stuff that I go to Ross looking for, it's because he showed me that it's out at Ross. I'm not just randomly going to Ross. It's like, boom, he found it at usually his Ross, which is, for whatever reason, it's a ghetto Ross, but they have the stuff.
Yeah, good stuff.
Because all the ones around me, sometimes I find, but I never find the exact stuff that you score at your Ross. Like sometimes I got to go all the way down to Henderson. Like when I was hunting for those triple transformer, all the way down to Henderson to score that. So which is funny because then Jason also was getting on my case about you got to watch out about those Ross deals.
Yeah, well, no, it's the truth
It's true.
because I mean that goes along the lines in those last videos that we did. I told you it's a compulsive consumerism, right? Just because you see it's a clearance item for $9.98 or whatever, and it retails for like what $14-15. The best way for you to save 100% is to not buy it.
Yep.
Straight up, just pass it. You know what do you need to? If you didn't buy it when it was at retail, just think of it. Okay, I get it's on sale, but you don't need it. So what? You're just gonna buy it, bring it home, and just be like, all right, cool, I have it.
Yes,
And now I'm
because
like,
they make me so happy. The toys make me so happy.
The box makes me happy.
The box.
it's that initial high, guys.
Yeah.
We talk about this,
Yeah,
and then
exactly.
it settles, and then you're going, man, now I have to go return it, right? Or like I should not have bought that. It goes from that initial high to it balances out, and you're going, yeah, I did not make a good choice in that one.
Yeah, no, that's true. There's things that I'm like, did I really need this? I mean, for the most part, I want to say I'm good, or at least doing better these days about stuff I know I really want. So let's get back on the topic. But first, I forgot. I wanted to mention right at the opening. So we've got the topic we're covering, but guess what? It's free stuff Friday. We're doing a giveaway. So Jason here is really, he's.
I mean, it's an example. We were talking about letting go, right?
Yeah.
If you guys do what we're asking you to do, comment, give us some good suggestions on like our next topics, and then we'll pick out of that. We'll figure out the best one, and then we're gonna do that free giveaway Friday.
So we'll have more details at the end about exactly what we're giving away and how it's gonna work. So mint and seal box loose collecting. So if you guys know me, mainly I'm a loose collector, so I'm a big advocate for opening your damn toys. I'm a Tomb Raider, tear open mint boxes.
I come play with his toys.
Yeah, the thing is, it's almost like, okay, so going into this, I want to be able to argue both sides, even though that's, like I said, that's largely why I wanted Chris here, so he can be an advocate for the sealed collecting. Jason is 50-50, and I'm mostly, I want to say 75 to 90%, loose collector, because I don't even like to call myself a collector. I'm a grown kid. I love to play with toys. I still love toys. And in fact, you guys are mostly seeing like collectibles, but I enjoy like toys in its most basic form, whether it be Happy Meal toys or like, classic, I don't know, something like a
Transformer, G.I. Joe, especially.
Yeah. So, I mean, I love toys. And their toys are playthings. Now I know some can argue like, oh no, they're collectibles. They're not. There's people.
Yeah, you're talking to a Funko collector.
Yeah, well, yeah, and those aren't really playthings. That's kind of a different area slightly. But then there's also those on the extreme end who they're all about action figures, but they would cringe at the thought of freeing it from its box. They're like, oh my god, I can't believe you opened that.
Oh yeah, that sound kind of scares me sometimes. Like when you're cracking that, they ripping the card. I'm like, oh.
So you're like,
Yeah.
Like, especially if you know, like, if it's like a rare item or, like a limited edition.
Yeah.
Like, it's probably a little less if it's a full mass retail, but like you're
Like
probably
Comic-Con
you're
stuff.
probably like, what? Yeah. What are you doing? Nope, I open it all, man. Like, it could be a Comic-Con exclusive or whatever. You know, it's like it's still I if I got it, it's because I want it and I want it to open. So what are some arguing points for sealed collecting?
Man, you know what? I really
as
can't.
A champion.
I really
of,
can't.
Of sealed collecting.
I really can't argue because at some point, like even us, like sealed collectors, we're just basically like collecting stuff just to like sit there. It's true. I mean, like not trying to make this argument seem any less valid, but I mean, like you've already been to my house. You've seen my room, and you've seen like 95% of it is still even sealed in like the shipping box.
Yeah.
I
So
mean,
can I go ahead and kind of? So the thing is, I get some sealed collectors that they appreciate everything that goes into the packaging with toy, and they display their sealed toys and like I could never do that, but I get that that's their thing. Now here's the thing: it's like that's not even you. You're not displaying your sealed toys. They are all in boxes. He has toys, box toys in boxes. In shipper boxes, then inside of a storage box. So he's got a room full of toys that is all just.
Chris, just so you know, bro, this is a safe area. You're a hoarder, bro. Yeah. Because right here I got it in my notes too. This week I wrote it. It says collections of anything, right? Even toys, collectibles, whatever it is. If you store them and they're never to be seen, that's a form of hoarding. Straight up, it is.
Okay.
If you have it underneath your bed, in your closet, wherever, if you're hiding it or you're putting it to the side and you forget about it, you're hoarding.
That's definitely hoarding, man.
So you know what? On that note, I wanna kind of like turn inward for a second because it's like given I'm already of the understanding and acceptance that I am a hoarder, but. So it's funny that you mentioned that because while I am a loose collector, I open, like 99% of my toys. If you don't know this about me, because it's not really something I show because it's not visually appealing. Mm-hmm. So I bag, after I open my figures, I bag them. Look, you can see there's a pile right there on the floor. Those are waiting to get put away. So I bag my figures. Each figure gets individually bagged. And then those go into individual, like, categorized boxes, and then those sit in the garage. And another friend brought it up recently, how it's like, 'cause he knows that's what I do. And so it's not just hoarding, but it's also kind of defeating the purpose of opening and playing with your toys. Now, I want to say there's also gray areas. There is the purpose that my toys serve to me. Like, so I don't really play with them in the traditional sense. I am better about getting stuff that I know, like, I really want and will appreciate. But for me personally, it's like these are my actors, and I know I've said it before, but just for the sake of those who aren't familiar, like I do toy photography and stuff like that. So it's like until I need my model or my star for that particular scene or project or whatever, they get put away. I don't display my toys for several reasons. I think it's an eyesore. There's the dust to deal with. There's all that stuff. I honestly don't think action figures are visually pleasing as display pieces. Now statues, on the other hand, do you have any statues?
I've got a couple of statues, but I mean I'm not a big collector into that because I can't play with them.
I was gonna say, even though you do have statues, which are great display pieces, they're boxed away.
Yeah, my one Optimus is still boxed.
Oh man, it's the 3A
one.
Dude, he's got that awesome 3A Optimus Prime. That's like this is a high end collectible. If you thought my was it Mega Action Optimus Prime was a high end collectible at what, like nearly $200, that thing was like twice that, right? Yeah, so over double mine. You were gonna say?
Oh, well, the loose figures, because I mean, you see people that do the big old dioramas. That's actually a good way to display them. I mean, that makes it like a form of art right there. And then, of course, ACBA. We all know about that.
Yeah. No, and that's the thing. There's people who, or I don't want to say people, but everybody's got their different things with. Even if they do open their toys, not everybody plays with them in a traditional sense. And largely these days in the collecting communities, there is that. There's like the ACBA, there's the toy photography, there's all that, if you're doing something creative with your stuff, that's next level. That's even like,
because they're using it.
You're actually putting to use. Like, it's great if you play with and just derive that simple, like, childlike happiness from, but then you're taking it to the next level. You're doing something creative. You're putting like energy and passion into your toy collecting. So that's really cool. There's nothing you can say that's bad about that. But again, like, imagine the seal collectors who like see these people like opening super rare limited edition.
It's what happens. Well, there's you guys are like that, but then it's like I said in a couple of shows back, it's like, open that because it's gonna make my value of stuff go up. If you're opening that, like, oh, cool, that's gonna help my, my stuff.
Yeah.
I remember I told you this week I got in touch with you guys follow Toy Galaxy online?
No.
On YouTube?
No.
Okay, so Dan Larson, he does Toy Galaxy, he does reviews and stuff like that on toys. And I asked him, I was like, hey, I was just curious, what's your opinion on opening and having them sealed? And he got back to me on Facebook Messenger. He just said that he opens everything. The only boxes that he keeps are for high-end pieces or figures that are fragile because of the parts.
Oh, yeah.
And that's just to keep it safe. And then when he's moving, if he's moving, that way he can keep all those things safe. When, you know, if they're not displayed, and when he's moving, does that make sense? So he opens everything.
That's a good point. I also want to personally, maybe not argue for seal collecting, but I want to bring up some of the reasons that I understand and get it for people. But I can totally relate to that because there are a few boxes that I'll keep mostly for like the import figures, your SH Figure Arts, your Revoltex, your Mafex, 112 Collective.
Hot Toys.
I don't have this guy. This guy has Hot Toys. I'm not baller collector level.
I've only got like a few.
Only
those are high-end premium figures.
Yeah, like for me, getting that big as Mega Action Optimus Prime, that was a huge step. Like for me, like I was saying, it was a grail of mine. It was something I wanted for a long time, and it took me. It wasn't just about the cost. It was about like getting something that's to me that high end. But I want to say yeah. So I saved those boxes. Honestly, though, I think I save them in case I end up selling the figure because, these import figures, they still have great resale value even if they're open, but as long as they're complete. And people know people that collect SH Figure Arts, Mafex, all these import figures, they're not treating them like toys. Yeah. So they know that even if they buy these like used, it's still essentially like a like new or brand new type item. So that's why I save those boxes. So at least if I sell them, there's a little added value there. Although I still have had no problem selling some SH Figure Arts and stuff like that completely loose with no boxes. And then I get it for the fragile stuff, but I don't think I save any for that reason. That is a good point, and I know people do that. I just don't like putting stuff back in boxes. So for those ones that I mentioned, I do save. Those get just stored away. I do have a number of these import figures that do have fragile pieces, and I pray that nothing happens. I keep them in a box. They're all in there, and I just don't pack it tightly and stuff. Other than that, on some occasions, I save the boxes if it's got really cool box art. But what I'll do is I'll remove all the inner packaging and I'll break the box down so I can flatten it and store them flat like papers and stuff. So with that said, I want to say reasons for sealed collecting. Like, what are some of your main reasons? And actually since you actually are 50-50, what are some of the reasons?
I brought that Big Bang Theory, this Lego set, right? Most of the times when they retire them or whatnot, you guys, the value of them can go up. And I was like, I'm a big Bang Theory guy, and I bought it originally putting it together, and I just never got around to it. I just kept it sealed. I'm like, I'll just keep it sealed. Maybe down the line I can just maybe sell it to somebody else that want it. I don't know.
Especially, Lego. Lego definitely holds value there. That's interesting because I do also have this set, but I remember I got it the year they released it at San Diego Comic-Con before it hit full retail. Yeah. I got it there and I opened it like that night or probably after I showed it in the hall, like many things. Once I showed it in the hall, I'm like, boom, I cracked it open, I built it. And so honestly, as a huge Big Bang Theory fan, it's one of my favorite sets, mainly for the minifigures. I'm all about Lego minifigures. They're, the cute little Lego stylized versions of characters that you love. Anything else you want to add as far as like reasons for sealed collecting?
Well, one of the big things is value,
Okay.
I started I used to open up everything until like maybe the end of high school or so. But when I started going to college, it's like there was like less and less time to actually hunt and open up stuff. So I started with a little Lego collection. I actually started off with Star Wars, actually, like the early 2000s, all those sets that came out, the re-released. I bought them all on clearance at Walmart.
Right.
And I've got the X-Wing, the A-Wing, I got all, and they're still sealed.
You still have those?
They're still at home in the closet. They're still at home in my closet.
Have you looked up recently to see what those things are actually worth?
Some
what
of them are
they're
actually worth quite a bit, but Ross also had the first release of Batman, and they had all those Lego sets.
Okay.
I actually opened one and I put it together. It was one of the Bat tanks or something.
Okay.
But I kept like the Ultimate Batmobile sealed,
Mm-hmm.
and those run for like almost $400 or $500 now.
So, what's the term? For you, one of the biggest factors is the investment. So it's like you're sitting on these toys, and
It's partly that, but it's also time, man. It kind of just built up over time. It's like I got busier with life,
So it's kind of like then saying circumstance. With you, it's like, so there is a desire there to open.
There's definitely some desire to like open up a Lego set or two and put it together.
Okay.
That'd be great, but cracking it open and spending like 5-6 hours of time, that's just a big chunk of investment,
I
man.
know, especially with all these Netflix shows to watch,
like,
video games,
Netflix,
retro video games
stuff,
to play. Okay, so I know from some people, like I think I mentioned earlier, like people who really appreciate what goes into the packaging and how cool the packaging is, and I've heard of people saying like so they actually display, and I've seen it firsthand. People who like hang sealed figures, like cover their walls, like I do with posters and stuff.
Look at old GI Joe, like from the '80s, all those boxes.
Yeah,
that artwork is awesome.
So that's one thing I would say, like, while I'm mostly not as a collector, one of the things I would appreciate, I don't collect them myself, is like sealed vintage toys. Because, if it's stuff you grew on and, that era of like 70s, 80s, all those great lines that like, that was their golden age, Transformers, G.I. Joe,
like great boxes. Man. I mean, like just looking at it, it's like shiny and
Masters of the Universe, lines that are still popular today. But that was their origins, and and
Turtles.
The Turtles. On top of that, the childhood memories there. Mm-hmm. Those are great, like things to save sealed. Like those are the kinds of things I like. I would even be like, what? Don't crack that open. That you
like vintage G.I. Joe.
Yeah,
cracking a vintage one yet?
No.
See, I'd be scared.
I would buy, like, if I was to collect loose or like vintage toys, I'd buy them loose. Yeah. Like, I wouldn't, buy them sealed and crack it open. That's just like, how could you do that? But so I want to say what I was saying for the people who appreciate like displaying and looking, who derive enjoyment from like looking at their sealed toys. If it's just to look at, I'm like, just put up artwork. Put up, like for me, I fill my office room with posters, like images. Like I've also always thought of kind of like doing a section of wall that's like hanging some figures and stuff like that are display worthy or just their favorites of mine. But for the most part, it's a toy and needs to be cracked open and played with. If it's something I just want to look at, that's what I have all the posters for. And honestly, that's another thing I hoard. But that's because I love images. I mean, I'm a nerd. There's all these characters and universes and properties that I'm into. So graphic tees, posters, man, I hoard the hell out of that stuff too. Anyway, so one of my very few exceptions for not opening is stuff like, so here's an example, like this Alexa Bliss, and thanks again, Kyle, for hooking this up for my birthday. Alexa Bliss, if you know me, know how obsessed I was or am with Alexa Bliss. It's one of those things, just because I love her so much, it's like I almost would want one to keep sealed and one to open, because the priority is still having one to open. But like, if I like it so much, it's almost like, especially with all the beautiful, photos of her and stuff like that, like it would look cool to have one of these sealed. But on top of that, and this is another part of my kind of in refocusing, I've always thought of trying to focus more on autographed toys, because that's something I've always loved doing, is getting toys autographed. And so one of the things, I have like a couple boxes in the garage stored with sealed toys that they're not stuff I'm saving sealed just for the sake of saving it sealed. They're stuff that I'm saving, like it's honestly, it's mostly the majority of it is Power Rangers and WWE figures, because those are two of the things that I'm most a fan of, that like the people that they're toys of are also kind of like accessible at conventions and stuff like that to actually meet them and get their autographs. So I'm saving those for possible. I know it falls under the just in case, but for possible autographs, getting them autographs. So realistically, some of them, that I'm a huge fan of, I'll probably never get to meet, but I think there still will be opportunities there. Like, so this Alexa Bliss right here, I really either want to save this one sealed or get another one to save sealed, because if I ever get to meet her again, this is what I'm gonna want to get autographed, and like, man, that would look great if it was autographed and like displayed on the wall. Oh, that'd be a grail of mine. So yeah, that's for me. And then aside from like some vintage items here and there might be I can't even think of any off the top of my head, but I want to say there might be a few things that just for pure sentimental value, like it might be worth keeping sealed, like just for me. But again, I can't even think of any examples. Mostly if I keep it sealed, it's because it's something like I want to get autographed or something. So yeah. Well, hey, going back to the loose toys though, let's talk about your turtles here, because up until like a couple days ago, these guys were still in their boxes, right?
Yeah, I just came to fruition with it. I just like, you know what, I'm gonna open them. I'm gonna open them. Because then when I'm at work, or if I'm doing some, you seem like he's
actually really good, man. Built well.
So here's the thing, it's like, man, these figures are great.
These figures are really cool because, I mean, we all watched the cartoon growing up. They did a really good job on them. They look just like they're right.
I want to say these are like the definitive action figure representations of the original cartoon Turtles. Down to like shading, like details, black details, and even like shading. I mean, if you guys are familiar with these, you can look, or if you're not familiar, you can look up reviews. You're not going to see it on here anyway, but they did actual shading. Like, there's lighter green and then darker green for the shadows and stuff. So, and the articulation is great. The quality is amazing. NECA is doing amazing things. So these are great examples of like, you know what?
I had to have them out. You just have to have them out. I mean,
you might be a seal collector and you might think, man, those look great. They look great in package, but like, dude, you gotta crack them open, because they look great, they feel great, they pose great.
These are great for my office.
You need to get a set. You never know. I mean, they're at Target, and I remember when they first came out, I thought when they first came out and they were gone, like, missed the boat, like a lot of things like NECA happens to be. But it looks like they've been pretty good with restocking them.
Yeah.
Yeah. So and I think the NECA Cartoon Turtles line is kind of like it's gonna be an ongoing thing. So.
But yeah, I had to open them and I had to get them out of there just because I was like, I'm going to use them. I'm going to actually use them. I'm going to take them out. I posted on my Facebook, and then my friends or family see it. I'm like, all right, Mikey's ready to go. He's going to go on adventures with me, whether it be at work, wherever I go. If I go to lunch, he's going to come with me, and I'm going to do my journaling or whatever, and I can, especially taking notes about the stuff we're talking about. I can look at the figure and appreciate it and go like, oh, yeah, that'd be a good idea to talk about something on that.
And he really, if you follow, and do you post all your same stuff on Facebook and Instagram
for the most
simultaneously? Yeah. So like, I always put in the description links to their pages and stuff. You can check out his Instagram. You can check him out on Facebook. He takes these guys with him. It's, it's like, it's a different thing than like your traditional toy photography, but it's at the same time, that's his way of like spending time with his toys. He actually takes his toys with him to do regular everyday things, whether it's like work or working out or something like that. You need to start doing that. You go to the gym, get your working on.
Bring mine instead.
Something to motivate you.
It gets you relaxed. You look at it and you just appreciate it. You're like, and then you remember being a kid about it, and then you go about your day, man.
Yeah. So. Okay. So show us what you got here, because this is an example of something that like you would definitely.
Yeah. These are they're gonna be sealed for now, but these two I just brought back from Comic-Con, and this Game of Thrones exclusive right here is strictly from the Lost Subjects party that they had, the fan jam, and only attendees got one of these each. They weren't even going to be released for our regular retail. So supposedly,
so this particular figure right here won't ever see like a regular retail release.
No, there was only 150 pieces made, and
150.
Yeah.
Wow.
So each attendee, basically 150 folks, got one of each. So this one's gonna stay sealed. Maybe I'll put it in my office. But I mean, the good thing about Lost Subjects is you can actually, they're already opened, and you can actually like display them.
They're kind of like pops.
Yeah. You can actually open them. They're not sealed or anything, and you can display them.
See, that's a good thing. It's kind of this, I don't want to say new trend, but of like collector friendly packaging.
All the rage at Comic-Con now.
Who else does that? So aside from Funko Pops, like 112 Collective, there's no tape, so there's no actual sealed packages, and there's stuff that you can easily open without having to rip or tear or actually, cause any damage to the packaging.
Yeah, Mexico stuff is fun, man.
Yeah. Oh man. Yeah. Well, I mean, I've talked about those 112 collectives. Yeah. So it's like that's actually a cool thing because it's like it's perfect for someone who's like a half and half.
Yeah.
Yeah, it caters to both. It caters to somebody like me who wants to seal, and
you can't take it out. You can mess with it, but you can easily put it back in and keep it like it was never removed. And there's no seal or anything like that to say that.
That's a whole nother topic, man. And some people that they think it's technically not sealed. It doesn't have the factory tape on it.
Oh yeah.
You got those elitists that definitely needed like a seal with the original tape.
Yeah, no, I get that, but then it's like, what are you gonna do? There's just certain lines.
Yeah.
Like you guys saw, I recently got my first third-party Transformers, and there was no seals on this box, So it's like, yeah, I get that. That's kind of weird. It's like, it can, like, say you were to resell it or something, you can't. Can you still label it as brand new? Because on eBay's things, it's like, if it's not sealed, if there's no tape seals or something like that,
blah, blah,
then
blah,
it's technically already like used or something like that. So, yeah. What else? Anything else on the topic of mint and sealed box versus loose collecting?
Well, I mean, yeah, it's just that. I mean, if you're trying to, you're collecting those solely for the value of them because you know that you're gonna end up reselling them for a lot more. I mean, I can see the point behind that, but at the same time, if you hang on to them long enough, right? I mean, I don't know, 30 years, 40 years. I mean, I don't know if I'm going to be here anymore alive 30, 40 years. But if it ends up becoming, if you hang on to something long enough, it just becomes junk.
That's
Honestly,
true.
It just becomes junk. I mean, anything. It's not just
it's
just end up being junk. You're gonna have to throw it away.
That's a good point, and there are, man, we can spend a lot of time just dissecting that, but it's not like before. So it's hard to say exactly, but there's a different kind of, for lack of a better term, shelf life for things now, because it's not like vintage toys where like 20 plus years later they're worth a lot more than they were. Now it's like stuff is hot for a certain time, and there are some things that will retain a certain value, but it's not like, in 20 years it's going to be worth like 10 billion times more than it originally was, Yeah. At some point, especially like if you look at the advancements in engineering of figures, let's take the 90s figures as a great example. Those 90s, Power of the Force 2, those were not great figures. Now, as someone who loves the 90s, there's a certain charm in those, and now there's a nostalgia to them, but still, those are crappy figures compared to, like, look at 90s Turtles or something like that compared to these. The engineering on them is amazing. They're screen accurate, but they're like fully articulated. They're great quality, as opposed to like the squat, like take He-Man figures for example, So what happens?
Or Funko Pops.
Like Star Wars is another great example. You take your 90s Star Wars and you take all the modern stuff like vintage collection and something like that, or your Marvel Legends. Look at like the earlier Hasbro Marvel Legends compared to like Marvel Legends now. They're leaps and bounds, so much better. And so the thing is, when you're a fan of this stuff, like 15, 20 years later, they're just going to be better versions. So it's like, it comes to a point where it's like that old stuff is now just old stuff and not like hot anymore.
I mean, what could kill the old stuff too is like you guys have seen it in the '80s, early, in like '90s, and even the 2000s. If you walked into a toy aisle, what was about 75% in that aisle? Star Wars was all over the place. They flooded the market with it, and that would be the one thing that would probably kind of like it would edge out anybody that did a new inbox. If the companies decided to say screw it, let's just flood the market, it would destroy what your value is unless you have something that's a certain like number amount or from the con or just something that was signed, right? That would probably carry value, but everything else would probably fall on itself.
On that note, and I think you probably know this firsthand too, having like saved. I wanted to say hoarded.
I still got 90 Star Wars stuff sealed.
Having hoarded so much stuff, you will see also that stuff, especially like Star Wars, whether it's Lego or the action figure lines, they're constantly remaking everything.
Yep.
Like almost every year, every other year, there's an updated X-Wing Lego set. So they're always updating, upgrading. So even with the action figures,
it's a strategy though. That the reason why is they catch us, the guys that were younger when we watched the old '70s ones. They implement basically a recast. So like if you'll have a Chewbacca come back out or a Han Solo, it's from the old classic one because it's for us fans that from the old days. It resonates. So we'll go, oh yeah, I need a new Han.
Yeah. And this one's better.
Yeah,
this one's
the same.
better.
Oh yeah, okay, but it's probably the same cast. It's revamped.
Maybe some added paint apps or something.
Shaded or something.
So there's that, like especially with mass retail lines, especially with huge popular properties like Star Wars, they're always coming out with a better version. So then the older ones just become older. Now there are some things like I don't know, like Hot Toys for example, like. Once you got that, and they're not gonna remake that character.
No, yeah,
you're not gonna get another G.I. Joe G.I. Joe Retaliation Roadblock Hot Toys figure.
That's why a lot of them retain their value.
It's
one run and done.
Exactly.
They can't just kind of like cast it once to break the cast. And that's it.
Yeah.
So there are some things, so we're coming up on we gotta start wrapping this up. I personally just want to say, like, I'm a big, advocate for opening your toys. And I seriously just want to scream at everyone, open your toys! That's what they're there for. But at the same time, everybody's got their different reasons. And sometimes it's circumstances, like you said. It's not like there hasn't been a desire to open these toys. It's just adult life. You don't have time and stuff like that.
It's constricted with time. I mean, everyone has to. We're battling time every day. I mean, that'd be time constricting.
Yeah, and then and some of you guys, if you've known me long enough, you knew I used to hold off on opening toys until I could review them, and I'd end up like having a huge pile of toys that was sitting there waiting to get reviewed, and I just never get around because of the time and everything. So it's like it's not like I was aiming to save them sealed, but they stayed sealed for so long because I just didn't have the time. So when it comes down to it, like with anything, and even the toy hoarding, it's like to each their own. But at the same time, man, as someone who does. Get that enjoyment out of the toys when I crack them open and play with them and stuff. It's like, it's one thing if you try that and it's really not your thing, but if you like never give your toys a shot, give yourself the chance to enjoy them, kind of like a child, for the simple fact of just. It's a character that you love and you get to pose them, and some people like to recreate stuff from like the movies or the shows that they're into. There's so much you can do with these toys, that they're just so much more fun if you actually open and play with them. That's all I'm saying. I'm not saying, hey, you're wrong if you're a still collector.
Right. We're not judging you.
No judging.
However you guys you value it. Or you find joy in it. If you like them sealed, then keep them sealed. If you like them open, or if you're like me, you like them open or sealed, then just do it that way.
Yeah, and then do your thing, I understand. There's people who purely, or at least mostly, collect stuff for their resale value. I'm not talking about like scalpers and flippers and stuff, but people who are really of that mindset that I'm gonna hold on to this to resell them later.
I'm halfway there. But,
Yeah.
I should just post my video of my office on your comments and show them that I do open up stuff. I open up a ton of stuff.
Yeah. Wait, did you post? Oh, you never post anything on your actually. You need to post on your YouTube channel because he posts some of this stuff like on Facebook, YouTube, and stuff, or not videos on his Facebook sharing and stuff. You should show that. You should show
I might put it in his comments.
I'm taking my phone. We're going to your house one of these days. We're showing your situation there. And same with your office.
It's bad.
I need to visit it one time. We'll give you guys a look at his office and his version of like opening his toys. And it looks, man, it's a lot of stuff. It's a lot of stuff, and it really looks like it's somebody's like toy room.
Get to see what a hoarder really looks like.
Yeah.
It's so even though it's open and loose, it's still hoarding nonetheless. All right, guys. So check it out. Free stuff Friday. You want to do the honors?
Yeah, sure. I donated it.
So Jason's kind enough to donate something to give away to you guys. So this is something we're trying partly as a thank you and appreciation for those of you who are checking out these videos or just listening to them. That's fine enough because it's pretty much the same thing. Honestly, I was shocked when he told me he was gonna.
It's a practice on. That's just showing you guys. It's a practice of letting stuff go, right?
Yeah.
And he was like, "Oh, that's really expensive." I was like, "It's just sitting in a box." If somebody else, comes up with a good comment that we can work with, then it's theirs. They'll enjoy it.
So what the giveaway is, it's a bit of a contest. Basically, I want you to comment below, and I want to say, so if you're watching this from his Facebook or the SMU Toys Facebook or any other outside source other than the actual YouTube video, you have to comment on the YouTube to be counted into, because that's how I'm going to keep track of the entries. So we're looking for your best suggestions for a topic or topics that we can cover in one of our upcoming talks that obviously we haven't covered already. We've been throwing it out there, give us suggestions, but there's this at stake. So this sweet Transformers G1 Optimus Prime reissue. And this thing is not cheap. If you're familiar with it,
I might have to comment because
you'll
see
it. I'm like, no, you were in the video. You don't count. So it's that simple. I want to say like one stipulation would be like U.S. only, because shipping stuff outside of the U.S. is not cheap. Unless it's like super small and super light, and this is already kind of this could get expensive. So unfortunately, U.S. only. But comment below. Give us your suggestions. Maybe give it a week till the following Friday, and we'll announce it in another video who the winner is. And I'm personally really excited of what kind of ideas you guys will throw at us, because we have no shortage of topics that we can cover for a good while, but always looking for people's opinions, because we want to talk about stuff that you want to hear about. So go ahead, start commenting, throw your ideas at us. So dude, thanks again. Thanks so much. Thanks. Show him some love. Go to his Instagram. Go to his Facebook. Dude.
Anytime.
The bro, Chris RexXall, also the home master chef. This dude's a barbecue king.
Yeah, it's mostly food on top of
it. His Instagram RexXall, it's
hardly any toys. Sorry.
Dude, he is a legit foodie, like Yelp. Yelp.
Elite.
What do you call elite? Yeah, he is an actual Yelp elite. He gets invited to Yelp events and stuff like that. So as much as he hoards toys, he hoards food even more in his belly. So thank you guys for joining in on this. We gotta do this again soon. Thank you for finally coming in on one of these. And you guys, really, really appreciate your viewing or listening. Really hope you're enjoying this, because this is even if you're not, even if you're one of those people who want a thumbs down, who cares? We're gonna keep doing it anyway, because we're enjoying this. But I do hope that this is something you guys enjoy here, and some of you might actually find helpful. So again, giveaway, comment down below with your topic suggestions, and somebody's gonna win this. And who knows, we might throw some other surprise gifts into the mix. So there you guys have it. As always, hope you guys enjoyed. Thanks so much for watching.